Alabama and Georgia are the benchmark for what we're looking for. And what is that in particular? It's consistency in performance year in, year out. We did it one time. So we're not in that conversation at this point. So what we're hoping that it catapults us to is a more consistent football program that is competing for championships year in and year out. We don't want any dips in our programs at all. And I think when you look at it from a tangible standpoint, what it did for us is it helps us in recruiting that we don't have to paint a narrative that's not true. In other words, that we can say, look, we're going to compete with Alabama. We're going to be able to beat Alabama. It's not a fantasy, it's a reality. And so there is some tangible evidence there that you can use in recruiting, but the rest of it is really about it giving you momentum for consistency in performance.
Hello and welcome into Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. A great place to escape the heat in South Louisiana. Old school prices on great barbecue food. Come check it out, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. LSU's baseball championship season was capped off by the MLB draft. Paul Skeens goes 1, Dylan Cruz goes 2, Ty Floyd also picked in the first round. 13 Tigers selected the Major League Baseball draft. The most in LSU history, quite a send-off at LSU championship Tigers. And with that being said, we turn all of our attention to football season. SEC media kickoff this week underway. Nashville, Tennessee. 2 teams in the SEC from Tennessee, so a lot of fans in attendance. Coach Brian Kelly, year 2, got it kicked off on day 1. He brought quarterback Jaden Daniels, running back Josh Williams, and defensive lineman Makai Wingo. We'll hear from all 3 players and the head coach later on in this program. And with that, we welcome in the Bud Man. Great to see you.
Good to see you, JP. Hope everybody doing well this summer. It is incredibly hot. Please stay hydrated. And if you are like my buddies who like to cocktail a little bit while you're hitting the golf ball over at Greystone, plenty of water, plenty of H2O, plenty of Powerade or Gatorade Zero, Crystal Light, whatever it is. Stay away from the sugar. And once again, LSU right now going into this talking football season, and that's what we have with the start of SEC Media Days. I don't know of one LSU fan, family, or anybody wearing the purple and gold in this great state of Florida where we always love to go. I don't have one person tell me that they're getting sand kicked up on the purple and gold beach towel. Never before, going into the season, has the LSU brand been so hot nationally. And JP hits me with it right out of the gate. Coach Mulkey did it in year 2. Coach Johnson did it in year 2. These fans are going to expect a national champion in year 2. And I said, hold on, not so fast, my friend. But we got a lot to talk about. Hope everybody doing well. And once again, Old School Barbecue for old school coaches like Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, and Brian Kelly.
It certainly has been a fantastic run for LSU over the past few months. A lot of questions for the LSU football players about those baseball and women's basketball championship teams and how it feels to be on campus with those guys. Look, you get a lot of limelight, a lot of accolades when you win a championship. You're the big man on campus, so to speak, Bud Man, and the football team is ready to get back to where it's supposed to be at the top of the food chain. A lot of questions about Alabama and Georgia. Of course, Coach Brian Kelly was able to knock off the Crimson Tide in Baton Rouge for the first time in a long time in year 1. It was huge for the program, huge for the state of Louisiana. But, man, going to Tuscaloosa this year, take on Nick Saban, who kind of has to have some revenge on his mind for Coach Brian Kelly. The 2 have faced off before a national championship game when Coach Brian Kelly was at Notre Dame. Alabama certainly got the best of that game, but Coach Brian Kelly 1-0 against Nick Saban as the head coach of LSU. Certainly a great start to his campaign. Believe, the worst showing for the LSU offense last year was that Tennessee game. Came out flat, fumbled the opening kickoff, and it was all downhill from there. Tennessee got on top really quick. That fast-paced up-tempo offense gave LSU defense all it can handle and a whole lot more. But after that game, Jaden Daniels certainly looked to calm down, settle down in the offense, make some more throws down the field, stay comfortable in the pocket, and that's what Coach Brian Kelly is hoping to see as a progression from his quarterback here coming into year 2.
Of course, it is talking season. Half of the SEC media days in Nashville are complete. Georgia was the headliner this morning. Hugh Freeze and Zach Arnett, respectively, with Auburn and Mississippi State. Oh, by the way, Clark Lee Vandy started it off yesterday. Greg Sankey, the commish. Brian Kelly out of the gate. Jimbo Fisher, who was talking faster than I've ever heard him. And then, of course, Eli Drinkwitz. LSU goes back to Missouri again. They always talk about equity in the schedule. What the heck? They went over there. Miles Brennan doesn't exactly have Missouri as a road game in his favorite memory list. But look, JP mentioned Alabama. We'll talk about the conference, the predictions, and Florida State. I'm still hanging on to my prediction. This is going to be 2 top 10 teams, whether it's 7 and 8, 7 and 9, 6 and 10, whatever. Right out of the gate, you're going back to the same place where you ended the season, and the over and under, Vegas has got them 9.5. SEC Network and ESPN expected wins 9.6 for LSU. So if you go over with 10, I don't know an LSU fan. You may. I don't know an LSU fan that's not thinking they will win 10 games. But, folks, it's not done via media. It's not done talking. It's done through a lot of hard work, a lot of great play calls, a lot of breaks, the bounces of the football. And all I can remind you and tell you is that last year at this time, hold up your hand, because that's where LSU was picked in the West. So it's irrelevant what's get picked. I just had Cobbs on, Michael Cobber from Channel 2. He thinks LSU is going to be the pick of the West. I say, nope, it's still going to be Alabama 1 and LSU 2. Ole Miss and Texas A&M, I think, are 3-4 fighting, and Arkansas a solid 5.
Yeah.
Over on the East, Georgia, the prohibitive favorite, and if you hadn't seen their schedule, it is the easiest schedule I've ever seen.
Yep.
Do you know what their projected win total is? Did you see it?
It has to be 12, right?
11.7.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm here to tell you,
they're getting it.
it wouldn't shock me if they lost one game, because Stetson Bennett has to be replaced, but even more importantly, Todd Monken, who went on to the pros. Mike Bobo is going to have a few Bobos this season. You old enough to know what a Bobo is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I treat Bobos at the house for my kids.
You sure do.
That's it.
And along those lines, but it is talking season, and what a great time to be a Tiger fan, and what a great time when you listen to the players and when you listen to the coaches. The adults have taken back over. They are in the room, and there is not a lot of and all this other stuff. Know what I'm saying? All right? This man knows where he wants to go.
Yep.
And the key for you fans to realize, week to week, to get better and consistently be able to compete against the Bamas and the Georgia. And that's what the challenge is starting in year 2.
We're going to take our first break of the evening, but we come back, we'll let you guys hear from the head coach himself, Brian Kelly, from his Media Days kickoff, Nashville, Tennessee. Don't go anywhere. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
You could be driving a Honda.
Improved from the front grille to the tailgate and equipped to take you on the adventure of a lifetime, the ride is just different in this new Pilot seat. Come see the all-new 2023 Honda Pilot, now on sale at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Seagan Lane.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Don't forget, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. If you missed anything in this program or any programs in the past, go check out our YouTube page. All the Tigers Roars are archived for your viewing pleasure. While you're at our page, click the like button, click the subscribe button so you're notified every time we drop something new right there on our Pelican page. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Talking some LSU football, Bud, man. Coach Brian Kelly trying to be the third of Scott Woodward's coaching hires in year 2 to win a national championship. Of course, you saw Jay Johnson win one in baseball, Coach Kim Mulkey in women's basketball, and fans around Baton Rouge certainly have high expectations for this football team heading into the 2023 season.
Well, look, let's be honest. Anybody who follows the team very closely knows that you only have to go back to a couple bowl games to know LSU had 40 players on scholarship when they played Kansas State, and that a bad representation because everybody had gotten hurt and left. Last year was extremely, I guess you could say, ecstatic for the Tiger fan base because they heard people picking them fit. And we know that Jaden Daniels had come in here and nobody knew what he's going to be like, AZ State. We know that at the time Nussmeier had a big arm but still had not played that much, and we know Walker Howard was getting crumbs as the third, and he got the Reds and left. But can you believe it? Do you ever remember a time in recent memory when LSU's had such a much of a decided advantage at quarterback than Alabama? Alabama's got a mediocre guy coming in from Notre Dame. They've got Ty Simpson, who's a decent kid, and you got Jalen Milroe, who is a really fast athlete but can't throw it. And then LSU, Brian Kelly, did you hear these comments, folks? He is excited about Daniels, who's going to start, but Nussmeier is pushing him. Of course, Ricky Collins is going to get the crumbs as the number 3. But if LSU stays healthy at quarterback, this is going to be a hell of a ride, Tiger fans.
That's right. Jaden Daniels coming back for his senior season, kind of put everybody else on the back burner in that quarterback room because you mentioned it, Bud, man. Nussmeier is not going to sit back and wait his turn. He's definitely going to push Jaden Daniels at practice, and that's what Coach Brian Kelly wants. And we'll let you guys hear from Coach Brian Kelly himself. There's a press conference from yesterday as we tape here on Tuesday, the 18th of July. Monday from Nashville, SEC Media Kickoff. Coach Brian Kelly, here he is, head coach Brian Kelly here on Tigers Roar.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be back here talking football here at SEC Media Day. I'm getting used to this. As you know, for many years, where I was, we didn't have these opportunities. So it gets you back into, thinking about football. And certainly at LSU, all we can think about is championships after what Jay Johnson did in baseball and Kim Mulkey in basketball, our success in gymnastics. I've got a big opportunity on my hands as well, is to continue the success of what was a very good first year. We have much to do. Progress needs to continue to be made in the best conference in all of college football. So that will not be easy. But we're excited about what we've done in a very short period of time. And the foundation of success is built in consistency. Alabama and Georgia continue to hold that mantle of consistency in terms of playing for championships. And that's what we'll be looking to be at LSU, is playing for championships consistently year in and year out. And you don't do it by just being a one and done. You got to be able to do that over a period of time. And that's really the transition from year one to year two, where in year one, I was learning the league. I was learning how to go on the road and play in the kind of environments. I was learning our roster and our strengths and weaknesses. Going into year two, we have a lot of that knowledge. We understand a lot of those things necessary to be competitive and win games. Now it's how do you do it week in and week out? And for us, that's what our team now has been focused on. The little details of how they do their work. What they do in the classroom has so much to do with what they do on the football field. How they live their lives, what they put in their bodies, how they train. All of those things matter on a day-to-day basis when you're talking about consistency with your process. And so where we are in year two is that we have a football team that's coming. They're moving in the right direction. We still have some weaknesses that we're working on. We still have some roster development that still needs to take place. I think the exciting parts are keeping your staff together, and the continuity of our staff with our coordinators and leadership is in place. That will make it for seamless communication as it relates to our day-to-day. But going into this season, it certainly is going to be a great challenge for us as we open up against an outstanding Florida State team, which will challenge our football team. But it also motivates us on a day-to-day basis when we're out working in the cool breezes of Louisiana. That was a joke. It's been as hot as I can ever remember training a football team. So we have to be very conscious and safety concerns relative to how we train and take care of our football team going into it. But they're highly motivated because of that opener against Florida State. And then we get a chance to play against HBCU, the great team at Grambling, and the great Eddie Robinson's program. We're excited about that opportunity, an in-state team for us. And then on the road at Mississippi State, and we're off and running with SEC in 2023. So again, on behalf of Scott Woodward, my athletic director, and our entire staff, we're excited to be here today. And with that, I'll turn it over to our moderator.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Again, please give your name and affiliation. And we'll start with questions, Coach, right in front of you, about 4 rows back.
Hey, Brian. Colin Wilson with the Action Network. Last year, I was the first to ask you about your offensive line. It had some inexperience. That offensive line ended up number 1 in stuff rate, number 1 in line yards. This year, you lose 60% of your pass breakups. Did the transfer portal, which was ranked number 1, did that address those issues about losing guys in the secondary in the back 7?
So, again, I think, when we talk about areas within your program that you're coming but you're not there yet, When you have to dip into the transfer portal, and this is just my perspective, when you have to dip into the transfer portal and bring in that many guys on defense, that's an area of concern because you really don't know what you have until you play against Florida State. So there are going to be a number of new players back there. We do have some returning players that we're excited about back there. Bricks and Burns in particular are two veteran players that are going to help us a lot back there. But look, that was an area of concern. We're a team that needs to get off the field on third down. We did not do a very good job of that last year. That's going to have to change, and it'll start in that particular area.
Coach, we'll go over here to my left on the second row.
Coach, Mitch Gibbs, WGSO Radio. My question is, how important is a running game going to be to your success this year? What are your expectations, and what effect would that have on your quarterback position?
So when we talk about a running game, what I've always wanted to do from an offensive structure is create physicality at the line of scrimmage. So we want to be a physical. We do not want to be a finesse running team. We want physicality at the point of attack. So when we're talking about a running game, if you're going to put 8 guys on the line of scrimmage or 9 guys on the line of scrimmage, you're going to limit our opportunities. We're going to have to throw the ball really well. And in that particular game, we may not have a great running game. It doesn't mean we can't be physical at the point of attack and continue that physicality. So when we talk about a running game within the offensive structures that I like to build, it's physicality up front. And I think we're going to have that this year with returning veteran players, with our strength training and conditioning program into its second season. I like where we sit in that position.
Coach, we'll stay in the same section on the far aisle. Dennis?
Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports.
Yeah, Dennis.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Dennis.
You're really plugged in NIL, probably one of the reasons you came to LSU. Greg just got done talking about a uniform national standard. A lot of these liberal NIL laws benefit not only Old State U, they're centralized in the SEC. Should there be a uniform standard when, it helps LSU?
Yeah. So I think whatever answer I give you, there's going to be holes in it because there is not much regulation. I think that the easiest answer to that question, and I'm not going to be political up here, we do want to control what we can control. But I would say that the thing that makes it difficult for us, all of us, is third-party involvement. And at what level does that third-party involvement influence the spirit of name, image, and likeness? I think that that's where we're all at. If there are different laws too in each state, then the league is not balanced, either. So to me, those would be the two kind of bullet points as it relates to NIL. I'm not here to fix it. I'm here to navigate it. And if I can lend my experience in any shape or fashion, I will do that. But I can tell you what we're living, and that's third-party involvement and different rules of engagement by different states.
Okay, Coach, we'll go to this middle section on the right.
And that was head coach Brian Kelly going into year 2 as the head coach of the LSU football Tigers. Amongst many other things, you heard Coach Brian Kelly said he wants to be a physical running team, not a finesse running team. Got to be able to, impose your will on the other side, force the ball down their throat when it's necessary, and pound and ground out games when you have leads, bud man. And returning a lot of guys on the offensive line, a very talented running back room. There's talk of John Emery rejoining the team in the fall after he takes care of what he has to do. As a student first, you pick up Diggs from the transfer from Notre Dame. Noah Kane's still there. Josh Williams, who we'll hear from in a little bit. So a talented running back room. Really, it's going to be Jaden Daniels' show, though. If he can push the ball down the field a little bit and open up those defenses, it's going to open up a lot more running room for those running backs.
I always like to do a stats overview after the season and going into the next season. And I'm going to shock you with some of these stats, but how many rushing touchdowns do you think LSU had last year?
I think Jaden Daniels had 11.
Yeah.
And Josh Williams had 5. So that's 16. I'm going to add another possibly, I'm going to say 24.
39 rushing touchdowns.
Holy cow.
After the year before, they only had 8.
Right.
Daniels, I don't think, is going to run as much this year. Agreed?
Agreed.
Josh Williams had 6. John Embry had 6. Noah Kane had 10 last year. Jaden Daniels had 11. LSU averaged 5 yards a carry last year. Defense gave up 4.1 yards per carry. But got to get better in some areas. Defense only had 29 sacks. Offensive line gave up 45. But here's the kicker. LSU was good on third down, 49%. That's almost 1 out of every 2, folks. They converted. Guess what they gave up on defense? 39%. That's way too many. That's 4 out of 10 third downs. They converted. That's one of the things they've got to get better at, is getting off the field on third downs.
Yeah.
And this is the worst in the history of it. I could live another 30, 40 years. You know how many yards per punt average? How many yards per punt return last year?
Oh, no, it was bad. I couldn't even guess.
3.3 yards per punt return. Excited to see if it's Aaron Anderson or somebody else. So got to get better in special teams. And as we know, we always say this, got to score touchdowns in the red zone instead of field goals.
Another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back here for some players on this LSU football team. We hear from starting quarterback Jaden Daniels going to his senior year. Also running back Josh Williams and defensive lineman Mekhi Wingo. Before we go to our break, remind you guys, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It has all the Tigers Roar archive there for your viewing pleasure. So go check it out. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. We certainly appreciate it. And come back and join us after this break. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
You could be driving
Smooth handling and smart interior styling. Just 2 reasons why the all-new Honda CR-V was once again named a Car and Driver's 10 Best Trucks and SUV list. Come see your new CR-V today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Treads and Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads and Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads and Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads and Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar, 10655 Corson Boulevard. That's the address of Old School Barbecue Smokehouse, a great place to come get out the heat. Great food at old school prices. Come check out the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich, a great deal. 2 sides and a huge sandwich, under $10. You get a drink too. Come check it out, Old School Barbecue, 10655 Corsi Boulevard. Talking some LSU football, some SEC media kickoff. Nashville, Tennessee. Coach Brian Kelly was on day one. If you missed Coach Brian Kelly's presser earlier in this program, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting and check it out. Right now, we're talking about quarterback Jaden Daniels, who selected to come back to LSU for his senior year. I'll read some stats for you. Last year, Budman, 68.6 completion percentage, 2,913 yards through the air, 17 touchdowns passing, 885 yards on the ground with 11 TDs rushing. A dual threat quarterback who some are predicting to be the top quarterback in the SEC this season. But, man, what do you expect to see from Jaden Daniels in year 2? For LSU.
By the way, 17 touchdown passes, only 3 INTs. Nuss actually threw 4 in limited work, and that's certainly something he is going to work on. But Russ gives him that vertical deep ball. I think the first thing that you're going to see in a difference with JD, number 5, is his leadership. This is his football team now. And the fact that he got the invite, there were only 5 quarterbacks invited to SEC Media Days. Jaden Daniels, I think, along with KJ Jefferson, maybe Joe Milton, maybe Carson Beck, but Jaden Daniels is going to be a first or second preseason All-SEC pick. Does that mean anything? Absolutely not. But most people I've talked to want to see if he can go through those progression of reads. Can you go, once your primary is covered, can you go to 2, 3, 4?
Right.
Can you stay in that pocket and try to release it? There were some brain farts last year. He froze, but man, when he turns the corner, and I've talked to a lot of LSU historians, we all agree, Jaden Daniels is the fastest running quarterback in the history of the program. That being said, he's being pushed by Nussmeier. Coach Kelly answered the question. We're not going to play 2. We're not going to have a set time for Nussmeier to come in. So first of all, got to be the leader. Got to let the game come to him. Do you think he's going to be appreciably better getting rid of the football quicker and going through his progression of reads?
Well, I certainly do, especially earlier in the season. I mean, you look back last year, that week 1 game against Florida State. It took him a long time to get rhythm in the game, and by the time he finally did figure it out and push the offense down the field, it was very late in that game, and miss extra point, you lose. But especially early in the season, I expect to see Jaden Daniels vastly improve the passing game, both with the tight window throws, stepping up in the pocket, and not just automatically turning that switch to run, looking downfield, and yards after the catch. I know has been a huge deal, a huge talking point for this LSU offense in the spring and summer. So we'll see if they can get those playmakers outside some space with the ball.
An additional 4 tight ends coming into this offense. One of the questions I'll ask Coach Kelly at the appropriate time, what are the tight ends going to bring to your offense that you didn't have? We all know about Mason Taylor, but it will be interesting to see how the tight ends, big uglies. Brian Kelly said it last year at this time. They didn't know who the starting 5 were going to be.
Right.
They really feel like they got 8 or 9 that they're going to depend on, maybe even too deep when you talk about Lance Hurd and Mason Lunsford and DJ Chester and some of these other kids coming in. So your offensive line should be great. Your defensive line, can Mason Smith live up to the hype? First player and only player ever, folks, to wear number 0.
Yep.
I'm superstitious. I'd ask Stringfellow, the equipment guy, put another 0 on there. I'm superstitious. You got to get Mason Smith disrupting the line of scrimmage and giving them some defense in the A-gap. We know this is a big year for him, along with Mekhi Wingo. Got some new kids on the edge. Ovio Gofu, you're going to love him. He wore 17 in the spring. He's wearing number 2 now. Savion Jones. This is a year for him with money. Deshaun Womack, Jackson Howard. They've got all kinds of players from the edge. 3-headed monster inside. Harold Perkins, obviously Omar Spates coming over from the West Coast and Oregon State. And then, as we know, Greg Penn III, who was really solid last year. The big questions that I have: who are you going to be return guys? How much will you have organization and great play on special teams? But JP, you're getting off the field and you got 40% conversion on defense. Got to get a better pass rush because you've got inexperience at corners. Now, as we know, there's a bunch of new faces. Mekhi Garner and Jarek Bernard-Converse both came in the transfer portal, both were really big, good corners. Now you got Denver Harris, Zy Alexander, LaTerrence Welch, obviously J.K. Johnson. What are you going to do with Deuce Chestnut coming over from Syracuse? Where does Javian Toviano fit? So the secondary, I think, is probably the biggest question most pundits are waiting to see. And 2 weeks from this Thursday, we'll be able to go out to practice and start chronicling that for you.
We'll let you guys hear from the starting quarterback of your LSU Tigers. Here's number 5, senior Jaden Daniels on Tigers Roar.
You know, starting out playing at Arizona State, now at LSU, just kind of the culture, the fan base, everything that LSU exemplifies, and kind of what that transition's been like for you and what makes LSU so special to you now.
LSU is special to me. Like you said, the fan base and everything. Just to stay in Louisiana, they took me as one of their own. I kind of feel like I'm from Louisiana now in a way. Even though I'm from California, I'm from the West Coast. Like I said, they took me in as their own, treated me, respected me, and just the transition coming from the Arizona State to LSU is night and day. Just what the fans exemplify, the energy that they bring each and every week to our games, and how much they care about us and care about LSU football is second to none.
Left side, second row. Jaden, like you said, you're a West Coast guy from Pac-12 country. What do you think on the field is the biggest difference in terms of the competition level, what you see every week, and in your opinion, what are the biggest factors that go into being a successful quarterback in the SEC?
The biggest thing I see the difference from Pac-12 to SEC is the big boys up front. With the O-line and how big they are, and then you got guys like, for example, Mason Smith has a humongous human being that can move like that. So you're playing against those guys each and every week. And I say, just to be a successful SEC quarterback, you got to go on there and just really prepare like a pro. And if not, you might get exposed in this league because there's some great players out there playing against you.
Right side, front row.
Hey, Jaden. AP Stidham, AP and Kelly, as we see at syndicated radio. Jaden, what was the difference between your first game and then the bowl game? You progressed so much. How did that happen for you? And then moving forward, what are you trying to do this season a little bit differently?
From my first game to the bowl game, I'll just say just being comfortable within the system. First game, you was first at everything. First game with a new team, new coaches. So you didn't really know what to expect or what to go. So fast forward to the bowl game, you could just see how much more comfortable everybody was with each other, how much comfortable the coaches were with the players, and the players were within each other, the team, and also with the coaches. And moving forward to this year, what I hope to change is, week one start with a win. Last year, we started with a loss. So I want to start with a win this year.
Left side, second row.
Kelly Jones, KCOU 88.1 FM. Jaden, Coach Kelly identified in spring that downfield passing was a big part of maybe unlocking another level to Coach Denbrock's offense. Do you think you've progressed a lot in that way in the spring and the summer? And what do you think you can do that can take that offense to the next level in the fall?
And I mean, that's to answer your question. I feel like that's what we need to do to take the offense to the next level. I feel like we could have a top offense in the country. Going out there, and we have the guys we have the talent out there. Guys are special to go out there and really make those plays. And, you know, just this summer, we've just been working hard at it, working hard at our timing. And even when we do our player-led practices and stuff like that, you know, we're giving the guys opportunities to go make plays. So that's the biggest thing that I say that we could take that leap to make the offense more explosive.
Third row, left side.
Kennedy Wright with CBS 42. Do you think your chances of a Heisman are greater this upcoming season?
I mean, I don't really look at stuff like that. I mean, it's blessed. I'm honored to be a part of a prestigious award like that. Hopefully when I win football games, hopefully my odds go up. But my main thing is really just focus on helping the team win football games. And if individual success comes with it, then it comes with it.
Right side.
Jimmy Ham, sports animal in Knoxville. Jaden, at what point, couple of questions, at what point did you feel comfortable running LSU's offense?
Against Tennessee, even though we lost, but against Tennessee, I felt comfortable running the offense. After that, we kind of just took off as an offense of what we were capable of doing, what we knew we could do. That's gaining explosive plays, going out there and really just taking shots and giving those guys chances to make plays. So I would say the Tennessee game.
What happened in that Tennessee game, and then how did you guys turn it around?
I mean, we started off wrong in the Tennessee game. Obviously, you know, open the kick, fumble, and with a high power offense like that, with a great team on their high horse, they got on us early, and we just didn't score enough to keep up with them. But after that, I mean, it just gave us insight and light to the situation that we knew how, if we control how we wanted to finish our season, limit the mistakes and go out there and make plays. You know, we put ourselves in the situation to be in the SEC championship game.
Second row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. What are the hardest things about being a newly arrived quarterback from the transfer portal? And what are you working on this offseason, and what do you want to get better at?
I mean, one of the hardest things transferring to the SEC and being a new quarterback is you don't know what to expect. When you travel to road games, going to Auburn, going to Florida, very hostile environments, and you don't really know what to expect with the fan base and with the team and how those teams feed off the energy of their fans. You know, they're very talented, and if you get down early, you know, you might be in trouble.
Front row here.
Yeah, Brooks Austin, Dogs Daily. Jaden, you were on the other end of a pretty viral moment in the SEC championship game when Jalen Carter picked you up. I'm curious what your viewpoint of that play was.
I mean, Jalen Carter is a great player. I mean, he got underneath me. I already had a bum ankle, so really much I could do. He just lifted me up, and then he just kept me in one hand. And then at that point, it was just really nothing I could do with it. I was just worried about, you know, my ankle at that point because it was hurting a lot. But you know, he's a great player. He made a big time play.
Left side, fourth row.
Corey Curtis from ABC TV here in Nashville. Commissioner Sankey expressed some real concern today about the way players and officials in particular are treated as a result of gambling losses with the new gambling laws. As a player on that end, how ugly can it be?
I mean, it could be ugly. Obviously, we're told that you can't gamble. Obviously, I don't think you should, as a player, you shouldn't want to gamble going in there about the NCAA. I personally don't gamble, and nobody in the LSU football team gambles on their team. You know, we respect each other and respect the team, and we don't want to go out there and give any insight to what could happen just to make a quick buck. You know, we love each other as a team, and, you know, we want to see each other succeed at the end of the day.
Fourth row, left side.
Sure. Hey, when Josh was in here, he kind of half joked about the pressure to continue the national championship run there on campus. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's a blessing. Obviously, what those two other teams did with the women's basketball and baseball, you know, it's second to none. They could go out there and they both win championships. Hopefully, we could follow up with one. But, you know, other than that, we got to take it day by day and really just enjoy the process, enjoy the season with each other.
Final two questions right here, then pass it behind you, John.
Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV in Baton Rouge. Jaden, it appears that John Emery's going to be cleared to be back with you guys in the fall there. What things does he do that other guys can't do? What kind of makes him special as a playmaker?
I wouldn't say necessarily what other guys can't do. John is just a special player. Obviously, he was highly recruited out of high school. for a reason. You know, he's a very special player as far as when the ball in his hand, he can make something happen out of nothing. But, you know, we need John, and hopefully, you know, if John comes back, you know, he's in the right headspace on everything, and you know, go out there and he's focused on football, and he go out there and have fun, which I know John will. I know the type of person John is. I can't wait to see John get back out there on the field and really just enjoy his last year and make plays with the phenomenal person he is.
And that was starting quarterback number 5, senior Jaden Daniels from his time at Media Day this past Monday. Short on time, so we'll have a quick break and come back and hear for some more players. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Taste the feeling. Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Come see the all-new Mazda CX-90, now on sale at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Short on time, so we're going to jump right back into the press conference. SEC Media Days kicked off in Nashville, Tennessee on Monday. We tape here on Tuesday, the 18th of July. I want to throw it back to Nashville, Tennessee. Here is running back Josh Williams and defensive lineman Mekhi Wingo from their time at SEC Media Kickoff, Nashville, Tennessee.
In the world for me to be here in this spot that I'm in. Coming into LSU as a walk-on and seeing the guys that participated in the SEC Media Days and what they meant for the team and what they meant to the coaching staff, just to be in the position I am now, it just feels amazing.
Second row on the left.
Hey Josh, KCOU 88.1 FM Columbia. Coach Kelly talked right before you. He said, if you can't run the ball, you may as well make your way to the concession stand, go home. Against Georgia in that SEC championship, 2.5 yards per carry. What do you have to do and what does your offensive line have to do to make sure that you guys can run the ball in a game where you're playing against a team like Georgia, a national championship caliber team?
I believe that we just have to go back to the drawing board and just take it day by day. I think that staying consistent in practices and going hard every single day will eventually and ultimately take that away.
Right side, third row.
Corey Curtis from News 2 here in Nashville. Welcome to town. Commissioner Sankey talked today about there needing to be some congressional oversight to create one unified message on NIL, kind of to simplify the process for everyone involved. How much do you think that would help players as they look to make the move into college football?
I think it'll be a great opportunity for players, not only because it'll give them more opportunities to focus on football alone, and the NIL deal will kind of take more of a back burner, and we wouldn't have to give as much energy to it.
Left side, second row.
Chris Farblin, KCOU 81 FM. Josh, you were one of the few players that still has a connection to that 2019 national championship team. As a true freshman being on that scout team, I just want to ask, having the opportunity to come into college and being just practicing, being around all those future NFL players, how did that help you develop into the player you are here today?
I would say the main thing that helped me was seeing the consistency that they put in each and every day. You know, when you see guys like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Clyde Edwards-Helaire come in each and every day, going the extra mile, doing the extra small detailed things, that's what showed me what works, the consistency.
Okay, we'll stay on the left side.
Dan Peck, ESPN 1067 in Auburn. I'd love to know just the differences between last offseason, new coaching staff, coming off the end of the Orgeron era to now, coming off a division championship. Just what's been different about this offseason, especially compared to last offseason?
I would say that this offseason, there's a lot more confidence in the building. You know what I mean? Everybody knows everybody. We're comfortable. We have a lot more transfers in. Also, I would say that Coach Flint also made a comment that when he first came in last season that he really couldn't do his full strength and conditioning program as if he would if he were already here. But this offseason, we have been picking it up, doing a lot more, and he's been congratulating us and applauding us every week, so I know we're doing well.
Left side, third row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX at College Station. Just curious, the way you guys ended that regular season, in College Station at Texas A&M. What do you remember from that game, and just kind of the feelings you had of ending the regular season that way?
Well, it was a tough game for me because I wasn't able to play, and I'm from Houston, Texas, and I know everybody at A&M, and it was a tough deal for me. But I learned that I could be more of a vocal leader, and I learned from that situation, and that's what I've been focusing on this whole spring and this summer is to become more of a vocal leader rather than just go with my actions.
Fourth row, left side.
Hey, Josh. Jeff Spiegel, ABC 3340 in Birmingham. The win over Alabama last year, what did that mean to this program in terms of what you're trying to build there?
It meant everything. Alabama is our rival game, and it was a big deal being in Tiger Stadium Saturday night, and just the way we won the game and everybody running onto the field and just giving us that momentum for the rest of the year. I think it really helped us push forward.
Third row.
With all the success on campus, with a lot of coaches who are believed are in year two, and Coach Kelly's in year two, how much does that push forward the expectation in the football program?
It's brought up a lot of talks and a lot of expectations. Of course, we would love to make everybody happy and win the national championship and have that cycle continue. It would be amazing.
LSU now, you transferred from Missouri. Just kind of what went into that decision for you, and now that you've been on hand and made an impact and looking at another big season, and you play the Tigers next year. So what's the transition been like from Missouri to LSU for you?
Transition has been smooth, and the guys back in Missouri, we still had that love and bond. I just ran into them upstairs. It was all love, man. So I really enjoy seeing them. But, I'm happy to be at LSU. The transition has been smooth, and, I'm loving Baton Rouge. Can't complain.
Second row on the left.
Chris Farblin, KCOU 81 FM. As you mentioned, you will be coming back to Mizzou this fall to play the Tigers for the first time as a member of LSU. I just want to ask, does that game being against your former team and right where you grew up, does that game have any extra meaning to you this fall?
Definitely, I love to come back and play in front of my home crowd, just giving those family members the opportunity to come to a game that, they may not be able to make it down to in Baton Rouge. So I'm definitely going to need a lot of tickets for that game. And it's going to be fun seeing my old teammates and old coaches because I still have that bond and connection with those guys.
Front row here on the right.
Hi, AP Stedham, AP and Kelly, as we see at syndicated radio. Mekhi, what does this team have to do to get better defensively? A couple areas for you.
To get better defensively, the team, we just have to really focus in on those small details and come together and watch a little more film together and do things of that nature. Naturally, we've gotten better getting guys in that transfer. We had some great players leave, but, I have full faith in the guys that we've brought into the program. A guy like Jordan Jefferson and Paris Shan and Omar Spates. Those guys have come in, put the work in, and I think they'll be phenomenal for us this year.
We got time. Oh, and we're back.
Oh, we're back.
AT driving the bus. Certainly appreciate you out there, AT, doing a great job. That was Mekhi Wingo and Josh Williams. Of course, Josh Williams has a great story. His former walk-on. He was there for the Ogeron days, 2019. He was a freshman, I believe, on the scout team. Got to see how those guys prepared and worked. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. What it takes to be a potential NFL all-pro, have success at the next level. It's that day-to-day grind, that mindset that everything matters, the smallest, minute details. It all plays a part, bud man.
40 new players are coming in. LSU does have 73% of experience. Guys like Aaron Anderson and Omar Spates and all those guys coming in, whether it be freshmen, whether it be junior college transfer portal or guys or whatever. Once again, over and under right now for LSU is 9.5. I have not heard one media person or one LSU fan not think they're going to win 10. It's not that easy. Florida State LSU is a game they could lose. LSU at Ole Miss in Week 5 is a game they could lose. LSU at Alabama in November, a game that they could lose. Everybody else, I think they're going to be favored in. You win 2 or 3 of those 3 games, you're at 11-1. You sweep it, you're 12-0. You lose 2 or 3, you're 10-2. High expectations. Once again, 8 running backs if Emory is cleared. A lot more tight ends, depth on the offensive line, 2 really good quarterbacks, and the wide receiver group, JP, loaded with all kinds of potential talent.
Let's talk about the schedule real quick, bud, man. September 3, that's when LSU faces Florida State in Orlando, Florida. Week 2 versus Grambling. Then you start the SEC schedule, bud, man, at Mississippi State. Then you host Arkansas. Then you go to Ole Miss. And then you're at Missouri. You heard Mekhi Wingo, who did transfer from Missouri, really excited about getting back up there and playing in front of his friends and family. A lot of people can't make the trip down to Baton Rouge, so he's going to need a lot of tickets for that game. But, bud, man, 3 out of the first 4 in the SEC on the road. Then you come back and finish out the schedule. 5 out of the last 6 at home. It really shapes up well. If LSU can start off fast, they can really win a bunch of games in a row.
No doubt about it. 4 of the first 6 at the neutral site or on the road. 5 of the last 6, of course, still have the obligatory open date before Alabama. It's going to be a lot of fun, going to be a lot of expectations, and we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for being with us for so long. Radio, internet,
That's
TV,
right.
And we'll continue to be back over here in a couple weeks.
Real quick, Bug Man, last question of the show. Who are some transfers to watch this year for LSU fans? Some new guys, new faces that are being a purple and gold this season.
Aaron Anderson going to get an opportunity, obviously. Omar Spates at middle linebacker. And then you talk about those 2 corners, J.K. Johnson and Denver Harris. Who's going to step up and play corner this year?
We certainly appreciate you tuning into this episode of Tigers Roar. Don't forget, if you missed any of this episode or any episode in the past, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All the Tigers Roars are archived right there for your viewing pleasure. While you're on our page, click the like button, click the subscribe button so you're notified every time we post something new right there on the Pelican Broadcast YouTube page. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Certainly appreciate you tuning in to Tigers Roar. For Marty and 18 the truck, he's the Bud Man. I'm JP. You've been watching Tigers Roar.